I'm Eva, and this is the kitchen I built for my doll Emily. It's got everything that a kitchen needs, except for a table to eat at. So today, we're gonna make the dining room. They got this little area to eat right here, but that's not gonna cut it. To start, I made the base of the room out of foam board, and I also cut out a big piece from this wall over here. And I also made it so this wall can actually also swing open. Similar to how we did with Emily's office. I just glued some paper around the corner so that it creates a hinge. And just like our kitchen, I only made this a corner room. So that will be able to slide the two rooms together to create the illusion of one large room. To start this off, I'm going to use the exact same wood grain cardstock from Michael's that I used in the kitchen as the flooring. As for the walls, I'm just going to be using this gray cardstock. Unlike the kitchen, I want to keep the dining room walls really simple. And don't worry about all the blank spots, it'll all make sense later. Then I glue 3 very long strips of foam board together. Oh, and a little small piece for up here. And I cover the whole thing in that same gray wallpaper. And then I'm going to glue it to the left side of the room over here to make a pillar that's going to kind of help transition from the kitchen to the dining room. And next, I want to make it kind of like counter cabinet space for back there. And I wanted to coordinate with the counters and cabinet area in the kitchen. Also, I accidentally cut myself with my X-Acto knife and it hurt. Ow. So I'm going to glue a lot of pieces of foam board together to make this thing. If you can't tell from looking at it, we are going to have 4 working drawers, but we're going to have some fake cabinets as well. We're going to make the drawers just like how we did in the kitchen by gluing pieces of wood board together. And honestly, hot glue really isn't the best thing for this. It takes like 5 tries to get a sturdy stick. So I actually recently discovered how amazing nail glue can be for projects like this, so maybe I'm gonna try doing this with nail glue instead, actually. The only downside about this is that it's a lot more expensive than hot glue sticks, but for smaller things that aren't gonna take up a lot of glue, probably not things like this, because this is probably gonna take up a lot of glue, I do recommend it, because then you can like stick the pieces on, and then you can just quickly cure it in place with a UV light. I don't know, I kind of love this. Speaking of nails, my nails are crying for help. Look what recently happened to my pointer finger. I need to redo these soon. And they should be able to slide right into their slots. I glue wood board pieces to the front of the drawers. I use skinny sticks to border the front of the drawers. Clamps are my best friend for this. Paint everything white. That was a lot. I glued the tiniest pieces of wood board together and paint them silver for handles. I also made these panels using that same technique that I'm going to glue onto the front for the fake cupboards. And I feel like it's really starting to come together here. I also glue strips of foam board together and then to the bottom for the footer. And as you've probably been able to guess, it's going to go over here. Nails are redone. They're very boring. For the countertops, again, I want them to coordinate with our kitchen, so I'm using these wood planks. And I had to cut out a couple pieces with the bandsaw as well.
You're being filmed. Intelligent.
I use my wood stain. Gotta shake it up really good. These child locks are no joke. There we go. And I dilute it with some water before staining all of the pieces. And I'm just using the sponge thing. And I use my satin varnish. Oh, come on. Let's please not let this happen again. It looks like some of the varnish dried and literally sealed the lid on. Is it really happening again? Okay, I think we got it. Yum. Let's give it a good mix. We've got an upgraded stick this time. And I'm gonna put a layer of that over everything. And it just gives it that very nice finish. And then I'm gonna glue our pieces on top of our cabinet thingy for countertops. Unfortunately, there's a massive crack in the countertop now. I don't even know how this happened. And then I made another pillar just like the one over there that I'm gonna glue on the other side. And I have more stained wood plank pieces that I'm gonna glue right next to the pillar. And glue one final pillar on the other side. And I did make sure not to glue it to this wall so that it can still swing open. Now for this big open cutout area over here, it's not gonna be a window. Nuh-uh. And maybe you already figured that out. But in case you didn't, I actually decided to make my life a million times harder by choosing to make doors. Yes, we're gonna make doors there. I have this vision that there will be like these 2 doors here that will eventually lead out to like a whole backyard pretty deck area. So to begin, I have 4 wooden square dowels that when I glue together should fit right into our cutout to kind of frame it. I'm not gluing that in place yet though. And then for the actual door part, I cut out a ton of pieces from wood board. using my new Cricut Maker 3. I used it for the first time in my last video, and it kind of just made me realize how much potential there is to use this for the dolls. So it was a great help in cutting all these pieces because I would have hated to do this by hand. I literally just made the template, gave it a few hours to cut out, and then just popped all the pieces out. So to start, I'm gonna glue some of the door pieces together. I also love these little clamps just to help everything stay in place while it dries. I know this all looks confusing, but it all makes sense to me. Until I have these 4 big pieces, and I'm gonna paint them all white. And then I sandwich a piece of clear plastic between 2 of the door looking pieces so that it looks like there's glass in the door. And of course I have a second one. And so when I designed these things, I made it so that in the top and the bottom, there's this little like hole in which I'm gonna cut a piece of wire and glue that in there on both sides, of course. Oh, and remember that rectangle we made out of the square wooden dowels from earlier? Well, I disassembled the whole thing and painted it white. Sometimes things don't go as planned. But anyways, the 2 smaller pieces that are gonna go at the top and the bottom of the door, I'm gonna actually use a drill. This time, I'm gonna make sure I have it going the right way. Why isn't this working? Stop, guys. I feel so stupid. I was literally in reverse. And I'm gonna carefully drill holes into the wooden dowels. Then I'm gonna glue one of these shorter pieces in place at the top. I glue on the side pieces as well. To make this a little easier, I just laid down the wall here. And I'm basically going to put the doors in place, pushing that little wire into the hole we made at the top. And then I attach our bottom piece, again pushing the wire into the holes that we drilled. I glue on handles to make working doors. This is insane, guys. Look how cool these things are. I'm genuinely so proud of myself, but I will say it was not as straightforward as I made it look. And now that I think about it, I think this is only my second time ever attempting to make like a full-sized door. The first being such a long time ago when I made that balcony room. It was actually a sliding door, and that thing was crusty. Like that thing, I don't think that thing even works anymore at all. Also, somehow I forgot about the bakery door. So I feel like we've come a long way. And these just look so good in the room. I'm so glad I went with doors instead of just a big window, even though it took a whole day. So I'm running a little behind in schedule now, and I'm kind of stressing, but that's okay. And I also really like how they can open inside. Did I just break the handle? I'll fix that in a second. Anyways, I love that they can open going like inside, or you could push them to go outside. Next, I'm gonna paint strips of woodboard white, and I glue them around the base of the room and around our doors for baseboards and trimming. And it really does a lot by just cleaning up all of those edges. As for this blank wall, I wasn't sure exactly what I want to do at first, but I think because we don't already have enough, I'm gonna put a shelf up there. Do I have a shelf obsession? Now for the actual dining room table, I really like some specific Pinterest photos I saw. So to recreate the specific type of dining table I wanted, we have more wood pieces. So to do this, I'm just gonna glue all of the pieces together on top of this piece of paper using liquid fusion. Heavy duty, max strength, dries clear, UV resistant. I really do wish the pieces didn't look like this. Like, I'll just have to cover the top of the table in a bunch of stuff so we don't notice all these cracks. As for the legs of the table, I have these jumbo square wooden dowels that I cut with a bandsaw once again. And I just have 4 of them that I'm gonna paint white. I also painted some smaller square wooden dowels white. And I'm gonna glue all of these pieces to the bottom of our tabletop. For the dining room table, why is this thing kind of massive? Also, I just feel like there's so much wood going on. And it's not about to help that I'm gonna make some benches with this same wood as well, because making chairs would be a lot of work, and I feel like the benches would be a little bit more low-key. But similar to the table, I'm gonna glue painted white square wooden dowels to the bottom of the wood pieces. Let's put them in place, and they can slide perfectly right underneath the table too. And honestly, at this point, I think let's just start decorating this room. It just looks very sad and empty right now. To begin, let's fill these shelves over here. I have this big pink pot thing. I did steal this from the kitchen. I want to try to steal as little as possible from the kitchen because I don't want the kitchen to then become sad and empty. But this was just in a drawer and it wasn't being seen anyways. And as you could probably already guess, we definitely are sticking to a theme of pink with the decorations. I have this plant that I stole from the OG kitchen. I have the cutest little pink jars that I got off AliExpress. These things are adorable. They actually work too. Like, look at this. I have this cute little teacup and plate set. And I actually have a second one as well. I have this little gold teapot thing. It's kind of missing the lid, but it's still cute and I want to put it up there because I'm also very into gold. And lastly, for the shelves, I have this little random plant that's actually from the Mini Brands Create Garden series. Let's put it right there. For this top shelf over here, remember this little sun mirror that I was given as an extra in my mystery box video? Anyways, it's so cute and I've been wanting to put this somewhere, so I think I'm just gonna like lean it up over here. I have this random little pot, some extra plates that match the little cups over there. Another item that was given as an extra in that mystery box video with the piano, this little teapot that matches some of the teacups that we put in the kitchen. And as much as I do love pink and gold, I do also want to incorporate some other colors too. So the blue is very nice on this. For this area, I kind of struggled to figure out exactly what I wanted to do with it. A huge part of me wanted to try to incorporate this that I made in my last video. It's just so pretty, but I feel like it's not really the vibe in here. I don't think it's gonna work out. I also had some more of these pegboard things that match the one in the kitchen. So I'm really tempted to hang up one of these or both of these, but it's also such a commitment and I don't want to glue anything to this wall, at least for now. I'm gonna say no to these. What I am going to say yes to though is this. This is also from the mystery box video. Oh, it's so cute. And I like knew the moment I saw it that I need to incorporate it in the dining room. So maybe somewhere in the dining room, I can make a spot for this to go right over there. And it'll conveniently cover up that nasty crack in the countertop. And we will of course need to fill it up with some of the adorable baked goods that were also from the mystery box video. So we're going to put those in there. There were also these adorable little croissants as well. Let's put in this little coffee maker. Then literally the most adorable toaster you'll ever see ever. I got this off AliExpress. I was keeping it in the kitchen, but I don't really think it needs to be in there. It was kind of getting a little crowded in there anyways. I originally stole this from the OG kitchen as a joke. Like I didn't think I was gonna actually use this in here. I was just using it to kind of get an idea of what a picture would look like in here. But surprisingly, I think it really suits the space. So I'm gonna lean it up back here, along with the one and only mini gold play button that was sent to me by Elsie. This thing is still my favorite thing in the world, and I've been looking for a good place to put this, and I think it'll just look so good over here. I want to add this adorable little vase with flowers that I got from Michael's, and lastly, a roll of paper towel. Kind of random, but also not, because I feel like it would definitely come in handy in the dining room. But now let's do something with the table. I have 6 placemats that I made that match the ones in the kitchen as well. And I feel like these are also really helping to cover up all the cracks in the table. Now, somehow I only have 5 of these plates that I bought off AliExpress. I don't know why I would only have gotten 5, but it's so frustrating because then we don't have enough to fully set the table. But let's at least just put down these 5. And then until I can get more of these plates, I'll just use this one. It's kind of similar. It's definitely a bit bigger, but like it's not super out of place. I also have a ton of mini cutlery that I bought off AliExpress that I was storing in the kitchen. However, I didn't realize that I actually have 4 sets of each color. Like I have some pink and some clear, but we don't have like 6 sets of just one color. So we're gonna have to mix match this a little bit, unfortunately. But again, I will be purchasing more of these so that eventually we can have them all matching. For a centerpiece, I'm going to use these little flowers that I made in my last video where I recreated AI generated images. So we're gonna put those right in the middle. Now again, another item from that same video, this little cake that I love so much. I'm really not a huge fan of the stand that I made for it. It's just like, I don't like it at all. But I actually have this adorable little cake display. So that is also going on the table. And again, these candles that were from the same video. I am so in love with these things and they're gonna go on here as well. As some added bonuses, I just have this adorable little wine bottle. I don't even remember where I got this from. It's just so cute though, and I've always wanted somewhere to put it, so we're just gonna like put it on the table over here. And then we also just have this little pitcher of lemon water with 2 little glasses that looks like they've been filled up. Now, I really feel like this wall looks so plain. Obviously, we have the doors, but I think it looks so good if we make some curtains for it. The only problem was I didn't really have the right kind of material that I wanted, so I literally just ordered curtains from Amazon, and I'm gonna cut them up. You gotta do what you gotta do. So I cut a big rectangle out of our curtain material, and I fold over and sew down all of the edges to hem them. I then snip the tiniest little holes across the top edge so that we can slide a wooden dowel through them. I iron down the pleats so that they kind of hold the shape that we want. I paint our wooden dowel silver, slide on the curtains, and glue on 2 smaller wooden dowel pieces on the ends before officially attaching it to the wall. Okay, don't freak out. I know they look really ratty right now and just like not the vibe, at all. But I'm thinking if we use some white ribbon and tie them together at the bottom, it could look better. I feel like this looks pretty good. I don't think I'm gonna actually ever use them for their purpose, which is like covering the windows. It just brings something else to the room over in this area. And the doors can still open. They do kind of get in the way, but it's not that deep. Now, I did also want to create some sort of lighting fixture for over top of the table, but then I realized that's gonna be a lot of work. So I literally just went on AliExpress and found 3 different chandeliers that I bought because I could not choose. And when they get here, I'll set that up. They have real lights, they work. I also almost forgot about these little things that I found at Michael's. Very random, but I feel like they could fit the aesthetic of the room, so let's see if we can find somewhere to put them. There's one with little bird, the Eiffel Tower, and what is that? I have no clue what that is. Please tell me if you know what that is. I have zero clue what that could be. Anyways, I'm thinking maybe they could look good up here. It's kind of random. I can also kind of already tell that I don't really know if I'd put these anywhere because where would they go anyways? Now, the last big thing are these drawers. Currently, we have nothing inside any of these, but I also don't know what I should put in them. I'm thinking when the rest of the cutlery I ordered arrives, we can make one of these another cutlery drawer. But like, I don't know. I don't really have any ideas for what I should put in the other ones. Let me know what you guys think would make sense. But as of now, I don't really think I'm going to fill them up because no one's going to know anyways that they're not filled up. Except literally all of you. And so now I believe it is finally time for the big moment of truth. Sliding together the dining room with the kitchen. Ta-da! This is actually insane. This really just looks like one mega massive room now. I feel like you wouldn't know that it's actually 2 separate rooms that were slid together. Here are the doors with a little outdoor scene and a light shining through behind, and it just looks so good. Especially if we open up the doors too. I am so incredibly happy with how this turned out. I feel like I did a really good job coordinating the kitchen and the dining room, but also keeping them unique and special in their own ways. Here's Emily sitting at her new dining room table, and the table was designed to be able to sit 6 dolls. Definitely a bit crowded, but they do fit. With less people around the table, it doesn't look quite as chaotic though. I love how we made the doors nice and tall so that she can easily fit through them. I really hope you guys enjoyed watching the process of me putting this room together. Comment below if there's anything you think I should add to the room or like what I should put in those drawers over there. And just let me know your thoughts in general in the comments. If you enjoyed today's video, don't forget to subscribe and turn on the notification bell so you can be a part of the #DD squad. And I'll see all of you guys in the next one. Bye.